The writing is on the wall, and we're expecting to see a huge explosion in TVL on the Flare network. Welcome back, Flare community. I hope you're all well and having an incredible day as always. And yes, we are on the verge of something very special. The F Asset protocol has launched and it's about to get some major adoption in a big way. We're starting here on the F Asset dashboard, and as you can see, there is 20 million FXRP that has been minted on the Flare network. And this is the cap that is currently imposed, and this is going to increase each and every week. Since the cap is actually full, it demonstrates a huge demand for minting FXRP and putting a otherwise dormant asset into a yield generating machine. Now, the caps, if we go over here, are as follows. We've seen the minting of the 5 million XRP, 10 million XRP and 20 million XRP. That was just this week. And the next stage is 35 million XRP. And this may likely be split between two time zones as we've seen in the past. Also, you can see that with subsequent months, we see 50 million and then 70 million FXRP. Who knows what goes on after that, but these are the projections as of now. And yes, this is when the floodgates will open. The most exciting thing is up here on the Xaman wallet. If you didn't know, Xaman is one of the most popular, I believe it is actually the most popular wallet for those holding assets on the XRP ledger. And as you know, XRP can be used to mint FXRP and used to generate a yield. This is a highly desirable feature of bringing XRP onto the Flare network. Now here's where things get really interesting. xHaven, who is the creator of the Xaman wallet and absolute superstar in the XRPL ecosystem, he says that yes, this is coming to the Xaman wallet. And the Xaman wallet is extremely popular with billions of XRP held or used through the Xaman wallet. Now, what I want to show you now is a brief interview clip from Hugo talking about this, and this is just going to blow your mind. Let's jump in.
Know the parties we're talking to. I also know the protocols we're building. I know, like, for instance, to give you a really good example, we are working with Xaman, which is one of the major wallets on the XRP ledger, to create a smart account that enables you to stake directly from XRP ledger into Firelight on Flare without you having to touch the bridge. You don't have to interact with the bridge. You don't have to transact on Flare. You can just stake directly through what we call a smart account through Xaman, and that's in progress. I don't know when it will be delivered, but that's in progress. And Xaman has, as I understand it, roughly 4 billion XRP that is held through the Xaman wallet. So, that's about $12 billion, just that. And I think, there's no reason that we wouldn't be able to pick up a reasonable amount of the assets that are used in Xaman.
So you heard it from Hugo himself, Flare Smart Accounts, and this is an absolutely huge step in the direction of abstracting the complexity for XRP holders that want to generate a yield. In addition to that, he stated that there are 4 billion, yes, that's billion with a B, XRP that runs through the Xaman wallet. So that is huge untapped potential, about 4% of the supply of XRP that could potentially be put to use on the Flare network. So we got this from Quantic here. If we just scroll down, Flare smart accounts are born from XRPL-centric account abstraction. that lets an XRPL address control a linked smart account on Flare and perform actions on the Flare network. So this is basically the key that opens the door to the yield generating platform Firelight for XRP holders. We scroll down here. The current scope is intentionally limited with F assets and upcoming Firelight operations, plus selected operators relaying proofs. However, you can generalize this with a broader instruction set and richer policy for quotas, rate limits, and other rules. So this really is just the tip of the iceberg for smart accounts, and this is basically going to allow an XRP holder to use their XRP and initiate a transaction that is linked to a smart account on Flare, and that transaction may have instructions such as putting that minting the FXRP and then putting that to work in Firelight to start earning a yield. This means that the XRP holders may not even necessarily know that they are interacting with the Flare network, and this is what we call chain abstraction. You go to the Xaman wallet app, you press a couple of buttons, and now you are earning yield on your XRP. If someone asks me the question to yield or not to yield, of course you've got to assess the risks, but I'm always going to be choosing the yield because this is a huge opportunity to compound on a traditionally dormant asset, XRP. So I also just want to bring this to your attention, and this is a snippet from the recent X space with Hugo Filion, and this is talking about inside the FXRP launch. He reveals some interesting information, so let's jump in.
So I think the biggest immediate use case of this is going to be able to basically deposit into Firelight directly from the XRPL. And obviously, if you want to do stuff with stablecoins on Flare, you have to come to Flare because you can't bridge your stablecoins through the XRPL. Because that doesn't exist yet. But if you want to just deposit your XRP into Firelight, that's going to be a really nice use case. And then I think also for the CDPs, I'd like to see that supported, whereby you can create a stablecoin on Flare from your XRP directly from the XRPL. I don't know how far out that is, but I think it's feasible.
So absolutely huge use cases inbound. Hugo was talking about being able to deposit straight into Firelight, but he also mentioned CDP loans, and this is brought to you from Anosis. This is going to offer a lot of opportunities for holders of FXRP. And again, that is something that is likely to come in the future through the Flare Smart accounts. So switching back over to the Xaman app and xHaven, we've got this from Quantic here talking about the first phases that we are just basically warming up on the F asset protocol. We're yet to see staking via Firelight and institutional deployment of FXRP, and also the Xaman wallet integration. We've got Captain here asking about a little update from xHaven, and he replied that he is coding his ass off. Him and the team are working very diligently to get this across the line. So I just really want to drill this point home and highlight just how big this potential is. We've got this CoinMarketCap website which gives you the price, and as of the time of recording, the XRP price is $2.41, right? $2.40. Now, if we look over here on DeFi Llama, we can get a gauge for the total value locked, the TVL, on various chains, right? So if we perform a quick calculation of the XRP price, which is $2.40, and we multiply that by, let's just be reserved and say that half of the people may want to generate a yield on Xaman, that would be 2 billion, and that brings us to a value of 4.8 billion. Now, if you look here, that puts the Flare network into the top 10, equal with the base network, which is obviously very popular. Now, this is, I would say, a reserved estimate, and that also omits the idea that we have institutions sitting on the sidelines with hundreds of millions of dollars ready to put to use. In addition to that, we have exchanges that have already announced support, and these big companies that are needing to put their XRP to use and start earning a yield. You know, from my perspective, I wouldn't be surprised if we hit 10 billion plus TVL on the Flare network within the next year or less. That would put us in currently second place. What does that do for the Flare ecosystem? It draws in developers that are looking to build on networks that are providing real utility, that have high liquidity, and that are built for the future. And that is exactly what the Flare network is. I know I say it often, but you are in the right place at the right time. I would like to thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. You have yourself an incredible day, and until next time, I'm out.
Mission Control, we have liftoff.